The Hornet Ghost Mark II was released yesterday. So today in this video, we're gonna do a stealth test and comparison between the Hornet Ghost Mark I and the Hornet Ghost Mark II. And we're gonna be doing this test and comparison in the 4.0 ePTU. But note this, whether it's in the current 3.24.3 or in the 4.0 ePTU, the stealth data might change when 4.0 goes to live. After 4.0 goes to live, I will of course update for all the stealth data for all the stealth ships. But as of right now, let's do this test so that we can have a benchmark. So let's start with the Ghost Mark II. So this is my loadout for my Hornet Ghost Mark II. Two size 1 stealth speed coolers, one size 1 stealth A power plant. Even though the Hornet Ghost Mark II, you can equip 2 power plant. But because we cannot manually turn off a power plant in our power management on our ship, so I manually unequipped 1 power plant from my vehicle loadout manager. So I keep one size 1 stealth A power plant. Quantum drive, one size 1 stealth C. Shield generators are 2 size 1 stealth B. And 2 size 4 Reverend Gatling gun. This is a ballistic Gatling gun. So I don't have to worry about giving more power to my laser weapons. So with this loadout, let's take a look at the data from Ship Viewer website. First of all, for the Hornet Ghost Mark II, we have 28% signature reduction for EM, cross-section, and IR. And this stealth reduction is already inherited in those numbers that we're about to see. The cross-section for the Ghost Mark II front minimum is 1,495. This number is very important because all our stealth gameplay will be based on this number. And then the side is 5,355. And the top is 5,789. This number is also very important because this is the highest cross-section value, which means if we can keep all our other signatures under this value, then doesn't matter the angle you're facing the targeted ship, you can hide yourself under 5.7 kilometers, depends on the enemy radar. Let's go to our ship and check our IR. Yes, the IR on our ship is still incorrect. You can see the IR on our ship is 3.1K. However, with the same loadout on the website, the IR shows 1,479. So do not base your IR on the HUD on your ship. Base your IR on the Ship Viewer website. So right now, our IR is 1,479. Our EM is 2,634. We want to reduce our EM to as close as to the minimum cross-section value, which is front 1,495. So that's how we're gonna do it. Disable 1 cooler, disable life support. However, the practice of disabling 1 cooler, do not make that a habit. This is only for the current patch. Once the cooler is fully functional in our ships, if you disable 1 cooler, you might dramatically increase your IR because your cooling function is reduced. Then your IR signature might increase. However, as of right now, when you disable 1 cooler, your IR is actually going down, which is against logic, but that's what it is right now. So do not make disabling cooler a habit. Now let's disable our shield and reduce engine power until the number goes as close to this number as possible. Yes, only 1 power to engine, and because we're using ballistics, so 1 power to weapon, that's all we need for our weapons. Now, our EM is 1,475, which is lower than 1,495, which means this loadout with this power management has achieved the minimum detection range. All we need to do right now is to manage the angle of our cross-section. For that, I have a dedicated video for it. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on our ship. Disable 1 cooler, disable life support, no shield, and reduce our engine to 1 pip. And watch our IR. The number underneath it is the environmental interference, because right now I am landed on Pyro 4 on the ground, so I have a lot of environmental interference. Also, on your ship HUD, you always see the highest cross-section value. So you would have to rely on the Ship Viewer website or Urkel.game to find out your minimum cross-section value. Now, our EM has reduced to 1.4. We have reached the minimum detection range. Let's do a little test here. I'm also going to use my alt account, which is Luke Skywalker, using a Spirit C1 to detect my Ghost Mark II. So if we choose Radar Detection Calculator and select Spirit C1, the C1 has a size 2 radar. The radar sensitivity is 90%. So according to the formula, the detection range for my Hornet Ghost Mark II would be the front 1.3 kilometers. Okay, nose to nose first. I have Emerald Foxy Loxy targeted. I'm gonna back strafe. 1.1 kilometer, 1.2 kilometer, 1.3 kilometer, 1.4 kilometer, 1.5 now. Oh, at 1.5, the Hornet Ghost disappeared. I think it's because the angle. Remember the cross section? If you are exactly nose to nose, it will be 1.3. But if you are in a certain angle, the cross section will increase. So that's definitely the factor right here, because I cannot do 100% nose to nose. Now, target at 1.2. I'm gonna rotate a little bit just to make sure I get as nose to nose as possible. Okay, 1 kilometer, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Yes, this is better. So I adjust the angle a little bit. Now you can see, I don't go to 1.5 now. Once I touch 1.4, the ship disappeared on Luke Skywalker's radar. Now, if I'm rotating the Hornet Ghost Mark II to the side, so if I rotate directly to face my side to Luke Skywalker, and then if I back strafe like this, you can see the range will go to 4 kilometers for the detection range. 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 4. Yes, 4.2 kilometers. Yes, the cross-section data holds very well from the Ship Viewer website. So yes, this is the way that you have to manage the angle that you're facing your target ship so you can maintain the minimum stealth. But this loadout and this power management is the stealthiest for the Hornet Ghost Mark II, which can be very essential in Pyro because Pyro is a lawless system. If you want to do some missions or do some explorations, you don't want to be detected. Your signature can be maintained at 1.3 to 1.4 kilometers minimum. Now, because I also have a Stealth C quantum drive, if I pop up to navigation mode, my EM signature goes only to 4.7 kilometers, which means even in navigation mode, I can maintain relatively stealthy. So this is very important that you put a stealth quantum drive on the ship that you want to maintain stealthy. If you put a military quantum drive, your EM signature can easily go up to 20,000. You can be picked up beyond 20 kilometers compared with only 4.7 kilometers. So the stealth quantum drive is a big gain. This is the Hornet Ghost Mark I. For the loadout for the Hornet Ghost are all Stealth C components. 2 Stealth C coolers, size 1, 2 Stealth C shield generators, size 1, and 1 Stealth C power plant, size 1, and 1 Stealth C quantum drive, size 1. And for the guns, I forgot to switch them to ballistics. So these are size 3 laser cannons. And the Hornet Ghost has only 15% signature reduction. The stealth number for the cross section is a little bit lower than that of the Hornet Ghost Mark II, 1,357, and the highest cross section top is 5,254. So right now our EM is 684. We don't really need that to be this low, so we can give more to engines. Full power to weapon, full power to shield, and half power to engine for the Ghost Mark I. Now, you see our EM is as close to the minimum cross-section value as possible. So this is a good power management scheme. We don't have to reduce the power to the minimum for the Ghost Mark I, and we still have full shield on. So I think this is one advantage between Ghost Mark I and Ghost Mark II. Because on Ghost Mark II, you have to turn off your shield, 1 pip to engine in order to achieve the minimum detection range. For the Ghost Mark I, except engines half power, the weapon and shield full power, you can still achieve the minimum detection range. However, the disadvantage is you only have 2 size 3 weapons. Ghost Mark II, you have 2 size 4 weapons. However, when the Ghost Cap comes into play, if you remove the Ghost Cap and put weapons on it, you would lose certain amount of stealth ability. But as of right now, you can switch them because the Ghost Cap is not functional yet. Okay, now let's do the detection range test with Luke Skywalker here. If nose to nose, the minimum detection range is 1.2 kilometers. Okay, targeting Admiral Foxy Loxy, and then fly backwards. I'm trying to aim at nose to nose straight, so I don't have an angle. Angle it more accurately now, so 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Yeah, there we go. 1.3. The ship disappeared. The angle does matter. A slight angle will increase the signature. But if you aim at nose to nose, the Ghost Mark I should disappear from enemy radar at 1.2 to 1.3 kilometers. 1.2. Before reaching 1.3, disappeared. This is a much better angle. So the Ghost Mark I, in terms of stealth, performs a little bit better than the Ghost Mark II. About 100, less than 200 meters better than the Ghost Mark II. Now, if I face the top of my ship to Luke Skywalker, it's not going to be exact angle. I'm going to just do like this. From the top, the detection range is 4.7 kilometers. But it's not exact angle. So 1.4, I'm going to strafe back more. 4 kilometers. 5, 6, 4.6 kilometers. The Hornet Ghost Mark I disappeared from my scope. So now you can see this is a stealth comparison between Hornet Ghost I and Hornet Ghost II. Both of these ships, in terms of stealth, perform quite well. But Hornet Ghost I performs a little bit better in terms of stealth and also in terms of power management, with less weapon damage. But for the Hornet Ghost Mark II, the signature is a little bit higher than the Hornet Ghost Mark I. And you also have to give minimum power to your systems in order to achieve the minimum detection range. However, you have a little bit better weapons, a little bit better weapon damage. So gives and takes. And that's not it. Let's use this opportunity to compare the rest of the specs to have a more clear picture between these two ships. So both of them are one crew size 2 stealth ships. Hornet Ghost I, SCM speed 219. Hornet Ghost 220. SCM boost speed forward, Ghost I is 477. Ghost II is 480. Boost speed backward, Ghost I is 249. Ghost II is 250. So in terms of SCN speed, almost no difference. As well as the maximum navigation speed, Hornet Ghost I is 1,142 meters per second. The Ghost II is a little bit faster, 1,150 meters per second. Not much difference. In terms of the maneuverability, Ghost I is 56, 45, and 150 degrees per second. And Ghost II is exactly the same. However, the Ghost II appears to have more decoys and noises. 96 for the Ghost II and 10 noises for the Ghost II. The Ghost I only 48 and 5. One thing surprises me is that the Hornet Ghost Mark I has a little bit more hull HP, 15,350, compared with Ghost Mark II, only 12,551. Hydrogen capacity, the Ghost II is a little bit higher, 14.4 SCU. Ghost I, only 12 SCU. For the quantum field capacity, they are both 0.7 SCU, which means you can only fly 70 gigameters. Remember the formula. 1 SCU of quantum field allows you to fly 100 gigameters. So 0.7, only 70 gigameters. So if you're using both of these ships in Pyro, be sure to plan your quantum jumps so you don't run out of fuel, with no place that you can reach to refuel your quantum fuel.